In the starting position, white currently has an extra pawn, but we should immediately notice that there is a full knight hanging on b2. That is the first thing we want to look at. However, the problem is when we capture that knight, while the king looks fairly safe at first sight, the king cannot in fact escape the perpetual check starting with queen c8. Interestingly enough, taking on g6 as a first move is also good enough for a draw, but you can take a look at that yourselves. Let's look at the check, which is a much more logical move. After the check, we don't have much of a choice. We play king h7, and now here comes h takes g6. We can look at king takes first. In both lines, either king takes or pawn takes, the problem is the same. We simply cannot escape the check along the light squares. Queen f5 check. When the king drops back to g8, white will always give this check on c8. If we block with the bishop, the queen comes back to g4. And again, you can take a look at this position yourselves, but there is no escaping the checks. If we go back and look at pawn takes instead, the lines are not the same but similar. Again, white is always looking for the checks along the light squares, trying to stay as close as possible to the black king. But yeah, there is no escaping here. We will keep checking. It's always important for the queen to keep an eye on this diagonal. So if the king tries to make a run for it, here it's very important not to give a check on e8, because after king h7 suddenly white is out of checks. But so in this position, you can give a check either on e6 or on c8. Just so that when the king goes to h7, you have the check on h3 available. And again, this is just a draw. So let's go back to the starting position. Now that we know that queen takes knight is not good enough for the win, let's dig a little bit deeper. And there's one piece that is very important that we haven't talked about yet. It is the bishop on g7. That bishop will save the day because in fact the winning move is to simply exchange queens on c5. White has nothing better than to recapture. And now suddenly the knight is under attack once again, but this time we can safely capture it. The only thing we needed to have seen in advance is that after c6 we need to stop this pawn before it becomes a new queen, and we do that by simply dropping the bishop back to e5 from where we control c5. And now with the extra bishop, this ending is easily winning, especially with the outside b passer. So very well done.